Alright, kid, this is Will Jones. Here I am speaking to BBC WM and the BBC Writers' Room for advice on how to get into the media industry and the projects the BBC run.
If someone wanted to create their own social platform, how could they go about that?
Well, it's something, frankly, the BBC has been a bit behind with social platforms, especially YouTube, where people are bringing massive followings now. The best thing I find is to try and find something, and it's a simple thing to say, but really difficult to do, is to try and find something that's unique and something you can show passion in. If you can show passion in anything, you can work like me for the BBC, or you can make your own living doing exactly what you want. That's the best thing about social things, YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and all those things, is you can, if you're doing it the right way, you can make a living out of doing something that you really want to do, and you don't have to answer to anybody. The basic things, especially coming from a broadcasting background, is you've got to try and make sure that fundamental quality is there in terms of technical. So if you're doing videos or sound, you can do brilliant things with smartphones, small little cameras, big cameras, whatever you've got. But there's little things to just make sure that you just keep aware of how things look. So the composition of pictures, sound quality, things like that. And you can easily do that on an iPhone or whatever. So the main thing is if you've got that technical quality and there's a grounding, then whatever you're doing is going to be so much better than that. If you haven't got that technical quality to start with, what you're trying to do will struggle to get past the fact that it's either unwatchable or listenable or things like that. So I would say try and create that foundation of technical quality and make it watchable technically, and then people will be more willing to stick with you past the first 10 seconds, 20 seconds.
That's a really good answer. What kind of message do you feel your station aims to put out?
Well, our station is pitched at a sort of older age group. So our main thing, as we've got on here, is we're a local radio station. We've got a massive patch of broadcast to about 2 million people, and a very multicultural patch as well. So we've got to make sure, and it's part of our brief. If we're not doing our job properly, if we make sure that we've got to make sure that we're talking to as many communities as we can, and not just that, bringing them together. So there will be people that tune in to breakfast and hear stories from communities they may not be part with, they may not associate with, just because of the way they live or the way they are. And our job is, as a news and sports station, is to obviously entertain people, but to make sure that people have got plenty of information and know more about where they live as a result of listening to us.
And last question, what do you feel your organisation aims to get out of the skills show?
Well, the BBC, last year at the Skills Show, the BBC, it was just BBC WM and the bus, which is over behind us. Now this year we've got a much bigger presence. There's WM and the bus again, Academy, Writers' Room,
BBC
Talent.
Experience as well, I know.
The Experience, the Talent, 5 Live, 1 Extra. So there's lots more opportunities to have a go. There's more emphasis on how you would actually go about getting a job or beginning a career in the BBC. And just by the fact that there's more people here, there's more contacts, there's more people you can talk to, more people you can introduce yourself to. One of the main things I've always found was that it's very easy to walk around perhaps any stand here and ask, how do I get a job? And people say, well, we put vacancies on our website or things like that. That's certainly a way in, and it's a good basis. But coming to events like this is an opportunity for people to meet us and vice versa. So, although we've got plenty of stuff available online for people who don't attend, it's a great chance for us to see people who are enthusiastic, and they don't have to have a go at all the things we've got here, but they can come and have a chat, basically demonstrate to us that they're passionate about broadcasting or writing or digital or whatever, and case of you do an online application form and you get to the interview and it's someone you've met and you go, I met you at the skills show and we had a big long chat about all this. So networking is a really important part about getting into broadcasting, media, or any industry really. And it's for the BBC, as much as being a sort of showing a public face here, it's a brilliant opportunity for us to meet more people.
How easy do you feel it would be to get into this sort of industry?
I think it's obviously very, very hard to get into the media industry because it's extremely competitive. There's so many people out there wanting to work in this industry. But I think if you've got a passion and you are really interested in it, then it is not as hard as you may think. I think it all comes down to is passion and working hard and trying to get your foot through the door. That's the most important thing, because once you're in the industry, it's very easy to move around. And once you build those contacts and those networks, it's just about getting in. To initially get in, you have to show passion, you have to show determination, and you have to show hard work.
I forgot the other question I was going to ask. Yeah, what are you looking for from a writer?
So, in terms of what the BBC Writers' Room does, we're a department at the BBC that works with new writers. We work with all the different departments at the BBC, comedy, children's, drama, radio, and we run very targeted schemes and projects for new writers. So there's lots of fantastic opportunities in the BBC for new writers. What we look for in terms of new writers is originality, someone who's got a fresh, distinct voice, and someone who just can create a great world and great characters, because that's what it's all about.
And lastly, would you like to talk a bit about Future Talent?
Yes, Future Talent is a digital scheme that we're running in the West Midlands. It's an opportunity for people to create their very own pilot for an online series. So it can be anything. It can be comedy, it can be drama, it can be interactive, it can be animation. But what we're saying to people is go out and create your own content, and it needs to be no more than 5 minutes, and it just has to have potential to be a series. So yeah, it's a great opportunity, and we're not looking for great production values. All we're saying is that as long as it's a great story, as long as it's great characters, that's all we're looking for, because we will help you develop that into something great.